I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm just an ordinary person who looked at this issue and said, we are here in Albany with one mission: to protect, preserve, and enrich the lives of those who we are trusted to represent. My first look at the bill, I had many, many questions. One that kept coming up to my mind was post-traumatic stress disorder and diabetes. And I noticed that finally in the last minutes or so, there's given an opportunity for them to be included in it. This bill also allows us 18 months. I don't know how many months and years some of you have been here. This is my 36th. I've seen amendments, I've seen changes, I've seen bills being repealed and this and that and the other. But take a moment and step aside and say, if this was my child, what would I do? I know everybody talks about smoke, smoke, smoke. I never smoked. I couldn't care for it. But the point about it is we've got a crisis. You know, I'm not going back into this point or that point. I think Senator Sabino, John, and Kemp covered it quite clearly. But I'm getting back to the basics. We've got a 18-month stretch here that we can look deep into some of these specifics. But I have 17 grandchildren. If something happened to them, I'd be doing just what you would be doing. You'd find a way to provide a cure for those children. Somebody said, well, X won't support us, B won't support us. I don't give a damn who supports me. My problem is, there's an old saying in the Army, leader, get the hell out of the way, and I apologize to the ladies in the room. But there's an issue. We have a crisis, whether you want to believe it or not. 21 other states have looked at it and said, let's do something. I don't know the solutions, but I do know that within the bounds of this building here, we've got the brains to put together and correct what some people don't agree with. So let's not go out of here today after this is done, if it's passed, and start finding fault with our colleagues. Because I don't believe there's anybody in this room that doesn't take this serious. This is a serious matter. And I really believe that we have an obligation to those we represent. There are people here, been around this building for the last month, and you talk to some of them. In my district, I have 6 families. They are sleeping with their child because that child is having 12, 14, 16 seizures every day, 5, 6 days in a row. What do you say to them? Well, on page 23, it says A, B, and C. They don't give a GD what page 23 says. Their big question is what are you going to do for my child? Ladies and gentlemen, that's our mission. We can talk here about the moon and the sun and everything else. But the bottom line is, remember this. Lead or get the hell out of the way. Thank you.